Well, it's a bit of a mess here in our shipping container, but it's where we store our paint, so we've been trying to keep it warm in here this winter. In the future, I am hoping to put my big Rockford lathe right here in this spot, get it out of the garage. And that would also be another reason for me to want a heater in here, because I want to keep that lathe at a constant temperature. And as you can see, it's getting colder and colder in here. So I bought this Vevor diesel heater to stick in here. I've been looking at lots of options. I even have this propane heater that we try to use. But of course there's no thermostat on that thing, so I constantly have to come out here, turn it on, run it for a while, shut it off, and hopefully I don't forget to shut it off, right? So I'm really hoping by putting this Vevor diesel heater in here that we can keep this place warm and I don't have to babysit it all the time. So, this is the main entrance door on one end of the shipping container. And as what I have decided is I'm going to put the diesel heater on the floor over here. I think this will work the best, and let's get started on it. I need to drill a couple holes for the fresh air intake and the exhaust and put the mounting plate down here. We'll run that stuff out the bottom, then we'll hook up the electrical and see how this thing works. This diesel heater comes with a mounting plate. So I set that on the floor and took my pencil and drew all the holes and stuff where it's supposed to be. Then I just used a hole saw and a reciprocating saw to cut everything out and get the shape that I needed. And here's a quick view from under the shipping container. Then I put on the exhaust pipe and the air intake and the fuel line. And you don't have to worry about mixing up the intake and the exhaust port on this, because these hoses are different size and they will not fit on the other one. There's also a little muffler that clamps onto the exhaust. It does reduce the noise a bit. I will also drill a couple holes in the frame here to run these out, instead of just letting them dangle under the container. Then I screwed it to the floor. Next, I drilled a hole in the fuel tank, deburred the edges, and used some wire to fish the hose bar through. The tank can be orientated so the fill cap is on the left or right, depending on which corner the hose barb is inserted. Finally, I simply use the wiring harness to connect the fuel pump, the monitor, and the power. So let's power this thing up, see if I can figure out how to use it. Ooh. Alright. That was easy peasy. I'll have to set the time and all that stuff here in a minute. So for some reason this controller is saying 59, but my thermal heat gun is saying 38. guarantee you it is not 59 in here. There's also a prime function on this remote if you get the separated version. I can't speak for the one that's combined and has a fuel tank on the heater. In hindsight, I probably should have got the one that has the diesel tank on the heater, but I was actually thinking about setting this fuel tank outside. I'm still considering doing that because I actually do hope to be welding in the shipping container at times. So that's why I just kind of strapped it over to the wall over there. I also didn't realize this fuel pump would run all the time. So that fuel pump is constantly clicking. I didn't think it'd be that loud, but yeah. But otherwise, it's putting out the heat. That is really, really nice right there, really warm. I can't figure this sensor out. I wonder if this temperature sensor is actually on the heater instead of in this thing. Well, anyway, it's working.
Stop heating. Thanks for using. I wish you a safe journey.
I've had this heater running for a week now inside this shipping container, and so far I've been very happy with it. The first couple days I was a little bit worried because it was burning up a lot of diesel. It was burning almost 2 gallons of diesel in 24 hours. And I was like, ooh, that's going to be really expensive per month to keep it warm in here. But I think that's just because everything in here was just so cold and it took a while to get up to temperature. I've got it set right now to where the heater pretty much keeps it about 50 degrees in here. And now that things have leveled out in here, I'm only burning about a half a gallon of diesel a day to keep this shipping container at that 50 degrees. So that's pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. We did even have a pretty good blizzard the other day, and it had no trouble keeping it warm in here, even with those pretty strong winds. For the most part, our temperatures have been hitting almost 40 degrees during the day, right around there, and somewhere around 15 degrees Fahrenheit at night. So give you an idea of what temperatures I'm dealing with in keeping this room warm. One thing I will do is I'm actually going to kick this diesel tank out of this shipping container. I'm going to put it on the wall outside over here. I'll probably have to do something to keep that from being in the direct sun and all that, but I really want to get this fuel pump out of here. This setup is actually designed more for like the sleeper of an over-the-road truck. So that fuel pump would have been outside of the truck to bring fuel up from the main fuel tank. So yeah, this thing is designed to go on a vehicle, and that noisy fuel pump wouldn't be in a building with you. It would be outside of the cab of your vehicle. So using it here in a shipping container like this is really not what they had in mind when they designed this thing, right? Otherwise, I really don't know what to say about this thing. It has been running great. It's pretty much a set it and forget it type of thing, just as long as you remember to keep diesel in the fuel tank. I did run out once, and that was kind of a pain to get it reprimed to do all that stuff again. But yeah, just as long as you keep diesel in the tank, it'll keep it at 50 degrees in here, no problem. So yeah, this is pretty nice. And they do have another model which has the fuel tank built right in with it. So probably in a shipping container like this, that would have been a better choice for me to have it all one unit instead of separated out like this. But that's the decision I made, so I guess we'll stick with it. So, all right. If you are interested in one of these, check the description below. I got some links down there for you. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say about this, so I guess we'll end it here. See y'all in the next one. At least now I can stay warm in here.